Welcome back to the channel. Beautiful Monday morning, February 2nd. It is a, wow, this is like 9:30 in the morning, I think. Oh, 9:49, so got to be accurate. Temperature, it was a lot colder. It's clear up to 16 degrees. Beautiful day. Heat wave. It's supposed to get up to like 24 degrees today, so you guys in a warmer climate, you can laugh if you'd like. Or people who are in Antarctica or somewhere really cold, you can laugh too, but I don't know. There. But anyways, I've got lots to do today. I have to put a storm door on for my brother. It's something I've been needing to do for a little while, waiting for it to come in. And then, yeah, we're gonna get to put that on today. I don't think I'm gonna take you along to there because, you know, it's on one of his investment properties or whatever, and somebody else lives there. So I'm not gonna take the camera. But just so you know, I am gonna be doing something today. So I'm gonna put the storm door on. That's the plan there. Actually, let's go put that in the truck. I don't think I'll forget, but I need two hands. So let me get this thing loaded and I'll bring you back. There, got that loaded. So, it's been a while since I put a storm door on. I sold a lot of them, you know, in the last 10 years, but I don't think I've put one on in quite some time. For those who don't know, that's what I used to do for a living. I was a builder. In high school, I always thought I wanted to be a cabinet maker. So I took all the shop classes I could and this and that. Well, I never did become a cabinet maker. And actually, I'm fiddling around with my tripod here as I'm talking to you. And actually, that loft you see that's in the shed, when I built the house, built the pole barn there, my thoughts were I was going to put a wood shop underneath and stack rough stone lumber up top. But that never happened. Instead, I put tractor parts up there, and then, anyways, so then after high school, or I shouldn't say, I made the football team at Ferris State University, and it didn't work out for me. I'm gonna tell you, I got homesick, this and that. I was redshirted, and I was like, yeah, that's one of my life's regrets is, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, I did quit that. It was a culture shock for me. I mean, I played for a high school football coach that, I don't want to say he demanded, but you respected everybody. You respected your teammates, the coaches, the officials, and if you said anything to any of them cross-eyed, if you know what I'm saying, he was right on you, you know. But anyways, then I go over there, and you know, there's fights during practice, and one of the guys told me, if you get in a fight, don't back down. I was like, really? That's what you do here, you know? And I was like, But sure enough, you know, it's just, it wasn't for me, and it's always going to be in the back of my mind, what if, you know, if I had stuck it out, you know, I'd bet, you know, money that I wasn't going to the NFL or anything, but yeah, I made the team as a running back over there, and but of course I got redshirted. That's a whole different story. But anyways, so I was in there, and then I come back home and stayed at home. I worked a job, and I went to college at the local community college or whatever for residential construction. So anyways, I got just about pretty much all through that, and I was working for a builder. And funny story is, he went on vacation, and me and the other guy that worked for him, we went down to the state Lansing's the capital, and at this time you had to go down there, and we both took our builder's license, and we both passed. So, but anyways, and it's a funny story, neither one of us are still, actually the guy I was working for, he's not even a builder anymore either. But so anyways, that was after high school, and then I actually I left that guy and I went on my own, building. I built houses and pole barns, and did roofing and siding and put in windows, and built decks and all kinds of jazz. I used to call myself a whore. I'd build anything for money. I'd say, I had another saying, I built you a dog house to a castle, stuff like that. But yeah, that's back in the day. I really don't think that's probably in the cards now. Basically, because it's hard to find help. You know what I mean? Yes, Nicholas is graduating from high school this year, but I don't think residential construction is in his plans. But it wasn't either when I was starting out, I guess. But anyways, I'm underneath the woodshed here, I guess. I got some wood I want to stack. But so anyways, I guess I'll continue stacking wood and telling the stories. But I was so I went on my own, building, had pretty good things going. The economy did take a little poopy, and I actually went to work for an organic dairy, or no, sorry, not a dairy farmer, an organic farmer. And so I did that for a few years. Then I had my resume out on Indeed or whatever, and I had a company contact me about building log homes. And but it was traveling, but the money was good. And so back in construction, I felt that was where I was, where I wanted to be, I guess. But anyways, so I took that job. We built houses all over the country, but never in Michigan. Beautiful houses. First one we built was in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. Let's see, what was the name of that town? Oh shoot, I can't remember now. We weren't all that far from Hagerstown, Maryland. So if that tells you that ones that are out that way, Berkeley, West Virginia. That's where we were at. Up, way up on a mountain. Of course, everything's mountainous out there, but where we were, the company I was working for rented a house for us to stay in, and where we were staying and where we were working was 0.8 miles away as a crow flies. But it took 20 minutes to get there. Had to go, around the mountain, to get over there. So, but anyways, so that was interesting. Loved doing that stuff. We built houses in West Virginia, Maryland, New York, Missouri, Pennsylvania. I'm missing one. Yeah, maybe that's it. So, all over the place. I did that for a while. Well, then the guy I was working for, he had some personal things going on, whatever, and which led to financial problems, and yeah, well, bounce. When the paychecks bounce, that's no good. So, but anyways, I got two different types of firewood here. I got stuff that's stove ready, and then I got stuff that I don't think is stove ready that needs some time, so I'm gonna stack that over there. But anyways, so I was working in New York, and this is one of the times where it seemed like every other day schools were under a lockdown for bomb threats and stuff. That was kind of a thing everybody was doing at that time, or what I mean. It was quite common, I should say. Not everybody was doing. But anyways, so, of course my wife teaches at a school, and at that time was teacher at schools. But anyway, so I'm out in New York, working my tail off, daylight to dark, not knowing what's going on, at home, and I'm 12 hours from home. It's just the stress and, working for a paycheck that I didn't know if it was going to be any good. So that was, a stressful time in my life again. But anyway, so I made a phone call through, I had friends through Michigan Farm Bureau. I called the guy, farmer guys, hey, I need a job. This is what's going on. He said, all right. Well, they got me a job. So, and then, it was actually another organic farmer. Yeah. Anyways, so that's where I got a lot more of my truck driving experience was there. The first organic farmer is where I used his truck to go get my CDL. But that was, I'm trying to think, that was like in the 1980s International. It was conventional, it wasn't a cab over. I'm trying to think, it had a 350 Cummins in it, I think. 350 Cummins with a 9-speed. It was green, I can remember that. And yeah, the trailer I had behind me was 4 axles. Yeah, if I remember right. It was either 28 or 32 foot long, I can't remember. But anyways, I don't have any pictures of it, sorry. So I went and worked for them for a few years, then something come up, and I went to work for a very large builder around this area that worked on mainly big projects, big either big commercial or big dairy, on the dairies. Built the monster freestall barns. Starwood rafters, very familiar with those. We use a lot of those. Those are made in Wisconsin. They were 60 foot long or whatever it was. Then we put 20 something foot, or see, because a lot of them barns were 102 wide, so 40 something foot wide wings on each side. And then we put steel roof and this and that. Yeah, that was, we did the concrete underneath as well, and he had guys that all they did was excavating. They had guys that drove truck, and they had building crews, and they had, full-time mechanic basically too. But anyways, so I did that for a few years. Then, I jumped around, I'll be honest with you. Then I went to work for a local builder. After that, I was just... and when I was working at one company in there, and I was foreman, and I had some people sabotage my work, as in they would purposely, we're laying out pole sizes, and they would purposely, I found this out later, purposely, move the tape so stuff would be off, so it made me look bad. So that ticked me off, and I just and there was some other stuff going on, and said, I gotta get out of here. People driving me nuts. So I went to work for a local builder. He did mostly residential, some ag stuff too, and I enjoyed that. And then one day I was in a lumberyard kind of limping because I hurt my knee, of all things, sweeping up garbage. I tore my meniscus. But anyways, I ended up, I was at the lumberyard, and the manager says, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, hurt my knee, trying to pick up trash." But anyways, she says, "Well, you looking to change careers, or what do you got?" So that's how my career started, as outside sales at a lumberyard. But so I did that for quite a few years, and that was, it was through COVID time, and then that was, if your name was Mike, that was not the place to work. At one time, there was 3 Mikes that worked there, and before I left, they closed the store, 2 of the 3 Mikes passed away. One died from, we think, a heart attack, and another one had complications from COVID. He was a diabetic and just couldn't breathe. So in the hospital, I can remember the last text I sent that guy. I said, "Hey buddy, how you doing?" He says, "Not good." That's all he said to me. So but anyways, and the other Mike left, and he went to work as some kind of excavating company. But anyways, so they closed that store that I was working for, and in my local town there where I was working, there's another local lumberyard that I went to work for, and doing the same thing. They offered me a very nice guaranteed salary for a couple years, and so I went and did that. But I just didn't like things, but then lo and behold, the company that just let me go called me up and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I told them this. "Hey, you want to work from home and cover that whole area there? And I said, okay. So I met up with him, and they offered me less money, less money guaranteed than I was making. And just because I knew what I was getting into, I thought. And things, so I did that. And I thought things were going pretty good. You know, at times, if you're in sales, especially outside sales, I had an old boy tell me one time, in sales, when it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, it's bad. But anyways, it's just, you know, it's a roller coaster. You got to ride it. Winter time is always slow, you know, in Michigan around here. It's just, but anyways, so then, so I've worked there for just about 2 years. Almost, not quite to the day, but getting closer. Anyways, so that's what, they call me in and say, hey, hit the road, Jack. So that's how that went. So now I'm on the hunt again, I guess, but it is what it is. So I've already, you know, things are in motion, I guess. It's not, I don't know. I'm not too stressed about the situation yet. So, you know, we're coming into spring. Like I say, I've got things cooking, I guess. So we'll see. I'm gonna do, like I said earlier, I'm gonna do some odd jobs, you know, to keep going. Sell a few things, or you know, or you know, buy things that are, you know, a quick flip or whatever. Just you know, I can do that. I'm going to do that until something better comes up. How's that? So yeah, there's a little bit of history on me, I guess. Many don't know, but so. But anyways, yeah, my goal here, I want to get this here stacked, then back that up here, and what I want to do, like I say, I'm stacking the wood that I think needs, you know, to season up a little bit, you know, planning for next year, I guess. There, then behind you, I just filled my wheelbarrow, and I'm just going to stack a whole bunch of stuff right here near the wood stove that's stove ready. So that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna do this for a little while. Then I'm gonna go, I think, do that storm door. I'm gonna go visit my mom and dad first, I think, see what's going on there. But then when I get back, shoot, I got a dentist appointment today too. So yeah, in the middle of that. So I got some other projects, you know, to do. Excuse me, do around here too. I got some rear wheel weights for the big mow. I want to put them on. That's going to happen this week too. I just got to figure out the size of the bolts. I have the weights already, and I want to get them on there too, just to help that situation out. But yeah, I might be taking some stuff to the scrapyard. Yeah, we got stuff going on. So I'm gonna take you along as much as I can. You know, won't be able to show you everything just because that's the way it is. But anyways, I think we'll put her on time lapse, and if I can figure out some music for this thing, for the video or whatever, I'll put that on there when I'm editing. So, all right, hope you enjoy. Well, it's separated. I would say the mass majority of that stuff was stove ready. It's that dead popple, and there's some ash in there. One guy told me that basically, you know, dead ash is always stove ready because it's a very low moisture, you know, wood to begin with. That's what I was told. So take that for what it's worth. So yeah, there's probably there's not even half of a face cord there. So yeah, not even close, because that sheet of plywood's 8 feet and it's not even full 4 feet. So yeah, it's close. So yeah, we'll let that dry till next year. That actually looks like it's cottonwood, I think, which I burned a lot of cottonwood this winter, that I cut last year, and I thought it burned fairly well. So what I'm thinking is we'll start up. Let me see what time it is. 10:30. So yeah, that took less than a half hour to do that. Some of you might say, well, that was a waste of time. Well, that's what I got right now, is lots of time, and that was more than good exercise. So, and this little bit of wood here, I definitely will burn that up in the next couple weeks, if not just this week. So that's good there. So I'm thinking the rest of my stuff here, I'm looking at my reserve over there. That'll last quite a while over there too. But maybe I'll stack on this end, the stove ready stuff after this, and then or on the outside of here, back here, I can do that too. I kind of want to work my way that way, if that makes any sense to you. So I could fill this up as far as I can to just start making another row, plus that'll help support it, the previous rows. So okay, well, I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I can see if the old girl will start. It's cold out. It is an LP, but you know how this cold, and batteries are they're not that good. Plus this has got that long skinny battery on it, which they aren't the biggest on cranking amps anyways. So whew. Let's see, vapor. Oh, she barely wanted to turn over. I'm gonna go grab the jump pack. Hopefully it'll help our situation. I'm gonna get this unloaded. I'll bring you back. The noise recording. Hey, all right, well, it's unloaded. Changed my mind again on stacking wood, but really doesn't matter. So I ended up, what I did was, yeah, I just kept stacking there. But you know, the irregular pieces that don't stack well or really short, I put them over there. So, all right, well, this is probably not enough for a video, so I'm gonna go over to my parents and visit for a while. Then I'm gonna put that storm door in, and then I'll be back here. We'll be working on a tractor, I think. All right, well, apparently I think there is enough for a video. So I'm in the house now. It's, well, shoot, it's almost 7 o'clock. While I was down to Lake St. Clair the other day, I guess that was yesterday, the guy that we got that pickup from gave us 2 bags of perch fillets. So yummy. So, all right. Oh, FYI, the steaks I cooked on the grill when it was 20 degrees out or whatever, they were delicious, just so you know. And I will let you know tomorrow if this perch is any good, which I already know it is. It is good. Nicholas, is it any good?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, imagine that, right? All right, well, appreciate you watching. Look forward to the video tomorrow. We'll be working on tractors. See you in the next one.